And that brings us right up to our special guest tonight on 6 Days on the Road, Donna Dunlop. She's just walked into the studio. Sit down around the old kitchen table, Donna, and make yourself at home.
I think I will.
In the beginning of the show, I referred that you were in kind of the first stages of your career. You've been playing for a long time, but I would imagine people out in BC or Alberta wouldn't know your name too well unless they'd worked here in Toronto. You've spent most of your career in Toronto, haven't you?
Well, that's right. For the past 4.5 years, I've been working professionally, and it's really been in Toronto, with some side trips to Brampton and other exotic places.
And music's almost a second career for you, hasn't it been?
Yes, I guess it has, but it's always been a presence in my life. I began actually as a poet. I have a book of poetry that came out in 1979 called Changing Voices, which is a musical title.
Have you found your experience as a poet has crossed over into songwriting, where you've got to make things fit into the meter of a 4/4 song, for instance?
I don't think about it too much, so I guess it's not a problem, making a transition. Because when I write songs, you see, it's almost the same as poetry. That is, I do the lyrics and the music simultaneously.
Well, I've got an idea. We've got the house band sitting here, and they're all tuned up, and Rick and Ron and Randy are all ready to go. You've got your D18 all tuned up. Why don't you give everybody at home an example of what you're talking about? How about one of these original songs?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to do that, and the song I want to do is The Texas Moon, but I want to send out a special dedication. This is to all my friends at the Dominion Tavern on Queen Street East in Toronto, so I hope you're listening tonight. Here we go for you.
Our special guest, Donna Dunlop.
Dance with me under the moon. We don't need a band. The angel choir will play a tune. The heart will understand. There's nothing like a hurricane to teach you how to fly. There's nothing like a southern breeze to make you wanna cry. Dancing against the wind, biting the sweet by and by. I just saw the northern star with the Texas moon in her eye. The Texas moon in her eye. I don't know what brought me here, or if I'll even stay. But every time I turn to go, it calls me back again. We're dancing against the wind, biting the sweet by and by. I just saw the northern
with an original tune. That was our special guest tonight on 6 Days on the Road. That's a song called Texas Moon, and our guest is Donna Dunlop. That's a beautiful song.
Thank you very much, David.
I hear a lot of old traditional country music in there, and I get the impression that you must have had a mother and father that sat you down and made you listen to a lot of Woody Guthrie and Hank Snow and people like that.
Well, actually, we listened to Elvis at home, but we had neighbors several blocks away, the Elcombs, and they loved country music. That was my girlfriend, Linda Elcomb. Her parents both played guitars, and her uncle played, and so that's where I first heard country music. I really, heard rock and roll at home.
Well, there you were being a poet. You could have taken your music in any direction. How did you pick country music as opposed to, say, folk music or trying to write pop songs for the top 40 radio?
Well, I guess it's a matter of doing what you feel the most for. And that's where my feelings are, and that seems to be what comes out of me.
You play in honky-tonks in Toronto.
Yes, I do. I'm a honky-tonk girl.
But your songs have a kind of a quiet, bucolic kind of sensibility about them. They don't really sound like the old Charlie Walker, George Jones honky-tonk songs. How do they go over in the clubs that you play?
Well, I play other things, in addition to my songs. I always have some of my own songs in my program, in the show, but I play a variety of things. Everything seems to work out, And I love it when people dance to my songs. I do. I love that.
So would people dance to a song like Texas Moon, this one we just played?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got another one we could do with you?
Yes, let's do You Are a Diamond.
Our special guest tonight, Donna Dunlop. You Are a Diamond, performed live in the studio by our special guest tonight on 6 Days, Donna Dunlop. Another nice song, another one I'm glad we're able to send out across the country and get you some new listeners.
Well, I hope so.
Have you had much success as a songwriter in terms of getting other people to do your material?
Well, I keep trying. I have a song currently with Ferlin Husky. Actually, that was the first song that I did, The Texas Moon. So I'm waiting to hear from him. But my project now is to get an album out.
And how are you going to go about that?
Oh, I have ways, and I'm researching it. But actually, I think that I will have something out by next year, probably on the Northern Dancer music label.
You'll probably produce it yourself and try to keep the budget under control.
Well, yes, I'm the president of Northern Dancer Music, you see, so that's how the record will be produced.
Do you find it difficult fitting into the country music scene in Canada, working as a solo and taking care of business for yourself? You don't come with all the trappings that some of the artists have in management and artistic direction. You just kind of take care of all the business yourself. How does that suit you?
Well, it's sort of something that is necessary for me to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't find work if I didn't find it for myself. I think it's that simple. You know, one day I suppose it would be nice to have a band, but things are going along so far so good. Like at this stage, it's appropriate, you know, for me to be a single.
And where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Where do you see yourself? I have no idea where I'll be in 10 years. I hope that I'll still be here. You know.
You don't want to go to Nashville?
Oh, Nashville. I mean, sure, let's go to now. I go to Nashville tomorrow. But actually, I would really like to have success as a songwriter, first of all. And I do spend time, you know, working on songs. That's really my first love. I've never thought of myself as a singer, you know, until fairly recently.
Well, you're doing a fine job tonight. Have you got another song for us?
Yes, I do. I have a ballad. It's called A Long Time.
Well, before you sing it, why don't you tell us how you wrote it?
How I wrote it?
What it's about?
Well, it's a love song. I don't think you can say much more about a love song than that. See, a lot of songs just come out of your unconscious mind, I think. You're there to kind of receive them, you know. But that's about it. I think if you listen to a lot of songs, they kind of transform themselves in your mind and come out as your own song. You know what I mean? It's sort of everything is borrowed.
So you just sit there and in the middle of the night the songs roll?
No, not in the middle of the night. No, sitting there working at the guitar, you know. Maybe even playing something else and another song comes to mind. Like that hasn't been written, obviously. Kind of pushes its way out.
Well, why don't you do the song in question right now? It's
All
called,
right.
I'll let you introduce it.
A Long Time.
Our special guest tonight on 6 Days, Donna Dunlop.
I know how to win, and I know how to lose, and I have learned to laugh from crying over to say goodbye. I don't know how to say we're through, 'cause I have spent a long, long time, loving you. A long time loving you. A long time loving you.
Another beautiful and original song from our special guest tonight on 6 Days, Donna Dunlop. That's a tune called A Long Time. Gee, that was fun to play on the mandolin.
Well, you did a great job.
Are you sure you're not Woody Guthrie's second cousin?
I'd like to be. You know, I'm up for adoption. You know, I'm open to adoption. Let's put it that way.
That's a real nice tune. You had a kind of strange regular gig for a while here in Toronto at one of the country bars called Country Gold. You played the noon hour show, isn't that right?
That's right. Noon till 2, Monday till Friday.
For those of us who don't get to spend much time in a bar in the middle of the day, can you give our listeners at home a little portrait of what it's like to play from noon until 2 in the afternoon in one of the bigger country bars here in Big Apple?
Oh, it's wonderful. There's no smoke. You can breathe. And actually, the audience is a little more laid back than you would find at night. You know, it's kind of it's early in the day. You don't get any dancing, and I miss that, I must say. But there's no way you get anyone up dancing at lunchtime, no matter what you try.
You do the same songs you'd do in the evening if you were playing?
Oh, pretty well, yeah.
How about one more tune now?
All right. Let's do, it's called You Can Take Your Time.
This is our special guest tonight on 6 Days on the Road, Donna Dunlop, with an original tune called You Can Take Your Time.
Well, you can take your time, and darling, I'll take mine. We're both gonna see that new sunrise, 'cause you can wait all night, and you can dream all day. Sometimes you can't wait and dream and wait your life away. We're gonna see it shine, we're gonna feel it glow. Hey, we're gonna hold on until it lets us go. I'm gonna call your name, you're gonna call mine too. I'm gonna stand and scream and shout for the love of you. Well, somewhere over the mountains, somewhere over the sea, I will come home, and home will come to me. I won't be asking why, I won't be asking when, 'cause the good times will be starting by then. We're gonna see it shine, we're gonna feel it glow. Hey, we're gonna hold on until it lets us go. I'm gonna call your name, you're gonna call mine too. I'm gonna stand and scream and shout for the love of you. Well, you can take your time, and darling, I'll take mine. We're both gonna see that new sunrise, 'cause you can wait all night, and you can dream all day. Sometimes you can't wait and dream wait your life away. We're gonna see it shine, we're gonna feel it glow. Hey, we're gonna hold on until it lets us go. I'm gonna call your name, you're gonna call mine too. I'm gonna stand and scream and shout for the love of you. I'm gonna stand and scream and shout for the love of you.
That's our special guest tonight on 6 Days on the Road, Donna Dunlop. A little bit more up-tempo this time. Another original tune, the fourth in this quartet of beautiful songs. That one's called You Can Take Your Time. Donna, on behalf of 6 Days on the Road, I'd like to thank you for coming in and letting us introduce you to listeners across the country. I hope you'll come back and see us again real soon.
I'd be delighted to. And thank you very much for having me.
Thanks a lot.